A man was injured by his pet and sought medical attention. The deep, bone-exposing wound led to a shocking discovery. There was a 400-pound Siberian tiger hiding in the apartment. Carter realized something was wrong and urged the man to reveal what he was keeping at home.
What do you have living in your apartment?
At the same time, the man's landlord arrived with the lease agreement, as he had been delinquent on 4 months of rent. Plus, he had been receiving complaints about a foul odor coming from the apartment. The landlord knocked on the door for a long time, but no one answered. However, she could hear movement inside, so she used a master key to open the door. But as soon as she entered, the landlord was stunned. Was this really a place for humans to live? Just then, a low growl came from behind her, and the landlord was so terrified that she lost her mind. The landlord hid in the bathroom, but one of her legs had already been scratched. She hurriedly dialed the emergency number. When the operator heard that the attacker was a tiger, she was stunned, thinking about how all this could happen in an apartment. At that moment, Carter arrived at the scene with a man. Carter was curious about how he had managed to bring a 400-pound Siberian tiger into an apartment. It turned out that the tiger was his pet since childhood, and he never expected it to turn on him. The man was worried about the tiger's safety but had forgotten about the landlady's condition. The fire department had arrived at the scene, located the room, and Troy grabbed a tranquilizer gun, ready to act. However, the landlady's condition was critical. Although she had bandaged her wounds, she was losing a lot of blood and felt her body growing colder by the minute. Troy tied a rope to himself and slowly descended from the top floor to the 8th floor. But after looking at the window for a long time, he couldn't see the big cat anywhere. He wiped the window, and the tiger suddenly lunged at him. Troy calmed himself down and slowly pried open a crack in the window while the tiger was distracted. The landlady heard the noise and instinctively reached for the door handle. The dispatcher realized she was about to go into shock and notified the fire department to hurry up and take action. Troy raised the tranquilizer gun and aimed at the tiger. Just then, the landlady, who was already unconscious, opened the bathroom door. In a moment of desperation, Troy fired the tranquilizer dart. Just as the tiger was 2 steps away from the landlady, it finally collapsed to the ground. The others rushed into the room to rescue her. Even more amazingly, before losing consciousness, the landlady muttered, "No pets allowed." But Willett's rescue story didn't end there. An even more difficult decision awaited him.